So, I think in an earlier conversation you'd mentioned about the software having hardwired minimum, which you could do because it was the software and it wasn't part of an exchange, and that was that $100 minimum. Where does that sit with Zootopia and Zoocoins as we speak?
Yeah, it was never $100. It was $60 going back a few years back.
Oh,
and
right,
there's
okay.
confirmation that that was not going to happen because the weight of regulatory problems with that, manipulating the market, wasn't worth anybody that does that going to a jail cell. So technically, no problems. The free market is there, and Zootopia will be exactly the same. The only difference is my job, and selfishly as a coin holder, I want to see the adoption of millions of wallets with initially some free coins or fractions, just like you guys are seeing, looking at 50 cents now. I mean, it's not an issue on a scale of things to say there's some 50-cent coins floating around. That's a good thing, because whoever's going to pick those up are just as encouraged as the freeholders to say, well, we'll sell a few of those into the market when we're ready with the demand. So it all comes down to, yes, the Zoobot's been tested and looking great. Yes, we could load up millions of wallets, and yes, we'll drop them around the world to our existing databases, and that's the priority. Now, that's not going to happen on the 1st of December because you're listing on the 30th of November. Let's put some things in perspective, and we'll be pushing hard, but it took 9 years to get 1 million wallets in Bitcoin. You know, we're trying to do 10 million wallets in 30 days. It took 14 years to go from $10 worth of Bitcoin to 300,000 or 330,000 US today. And we're trying to do that inside of, next few months in terms of not to 33,000, but certainly a very big push on the Zoocoin price. So expectations of selling and making a killing on day one, I don't know where that came from, because all the mapping and program we're doing is to load up the marketing, get the buyers, get the wallets, and then let the market take care of itself. And that should be fine.
Because one of the questions was in relation to the marketing side, is not seeing if there has been times before now for launching that when will something like the partnership with Visa be used as its own marketing and credibility tool, given that an organisation like that doesn't partner with just anybody? That was one of the questions that came through to say, when will key aces like that maybe be used?
As I said in an earlier update, the critical part of the Visa is two stages. The first is get the card processing working so that we don't need cardholders from Visa at this stage based on current marketing push with wallets. The first stage is to make sure Visa's comfortable with the way, not Visa, it's a card processor that sits in front of Visa. So the processor's got to be able to say we're coping with the volumes of transactions, we're coping based on the split chain with the transfers of funds on card to card. That's the crucial first bit. The second bit then is, as they get more and more card processors come into play, and that opens the door to where Visa can say, yes, now this is good. We can introduce through our authorising banks, etc., which is how they work, to the Visa network. That's not going to happen in November, it's not going to happen in December. If it's in the first or second quarters of 2024, then I'm excited, but that doesn't achieve, that creates an outlet for uses, a utility use of the Zoocoin, not an impact in terms of the Zoocoin itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that just allows people, as we've said previously, when you spend it on items under $10,000, and that ability to get it onto your card and use in everyday life, that's a different milestone than trading because of the marketing and other things that are driving up interest in Zoocoin. So yeah.
And look, there's a number of ways to skin that cat. I mean, Visa and MasterCard are the big back end in terms of whatever you want to process in terms of cards globally for online businesses and e-commerce and point of sale. But once you've released the open source code, particularly on the Zoobot, there's nothing to stop anybody in that room from taking that code to a developer and hooking it up to connections to businesses, to Shopify, whatever business on the planet decides to start to have a think and look at the success of that transaction using Zoocoins. It's open slather. I'm only triggering areas that are of interest to me that then have an impact on building the number of wallets, because the more wallets and the more people that are taking fractions, then of course that's attractive to merchants, because they can say, look, Zoocoins or the Zootopia's got 100 million wallets out there. We'll introduce the connection to our websites through Visa MasterCard. They don't have to go to Visa MasterCard to do that. They're encouraged because there's a market ready in play for people to then come to them and shop with them.